Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever EuroStep show live on YouTube and on EuroLeague TV. I'm very happy to be here with you guys and be sharing this amazing experience with my co host and resident expert, Dane Arlaucas.
Hey, Sophia, I can get used to that whole expert thing. Keep that coming all season long.
Well, speaking of experts, I couldn't think of a better guest of joining us in this section today than Anthony Goose, the sister of our sister show, the Watch Along. Anthony Goods, please welcome him.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be in a room full of experts. I mean, there's no better place to be in the world right now. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to apologize for the earlier technical problems, but we are all in. We are ready to begin this amazing show. We're going to be telling all about EuroLeague, going through the league, and talking about what's going to happen this week. But before we move forward, we'll halfway through the season, and we want to talk about the MVP, the potential MVP. I want a prize that all of the EuroLeague players want to get. So what do you think? What do you think, Anthony? Who do you think has more chances to get it?
I really can't believe we're talking about this right now because we should have given this man this present, around Christmas time. But I think Mirotic is well deserving of the MVP. I think he's had this on lock for pretty much the majority of the season. I mean, he's having a phenomenal season, playing offensively, shooting the ball at a high clip from three, and he's been playing well defensively as well. So he's the one player I feel like the whole league has to game plan around, and I think he's definitely the MVP of this league.
All right, so Sophia, if you didn't know, me and Anthony did the watch along, and it was a Barcelona game, and I knew from all the way back then that he was just in love with Mirotic. So that doesn't surprise me. That pick doesn't surprise me. And for about the first half of the season, it was a one-horse race. I will give you that, Anthony. But looking at around the league, I mean, there's some ballers that are stepping up at the right time. You got to look at the former champs, the defending champs, Anadolu Efes. Micic is there. Micic is averaging 16 and a half points a game. But I'm going with his teammate. I'm going with Shane Larkin because Shane's carrying this team through all the goods and the bads that they had at the beginning of the season. And, I mean, Larkin right now, he's averaging almost 15 points a game. He's got 5 assists a game, 5 and some change, actually. And I think that these voters for the MVP, they got a very short memory. And if Larkin starts to, even go up in the ascendancy and bring Anadolu into the playoffs, into the Final Four, Mirotic is going to have just a bit more problems or just a bit more competition up there than we would have thought.
Well, I completely agree with you, Dane. I think Larkin is a great choice. I love him. I think he's key for the team because he's been leading the victories in the last games. And we know that they started off kind of irregular. So, again, I think he's great. But I want to mention the guy that is actually leading the PIR, Walter Tavares. Let's not forget about him. He's doing great because, Mirotic obviously is a potential candidate last year. It's true that he lost it kind of last minute. But let's not forget, he's playing fewer than 25 minutes. And it's true that he's leading the scoring, but also, he is not leading the PIR, which Walter Tavares is. I would like to hear the opinion from everyone that is watching, all of our viewers. In basketball, we always talk about the 6 men. So here on EuroStep, we want the people to get involved, to send them questions, to send us comments, to tell us who are for them the MVP.
Yeah, you talked about Eddie. There's also some Mike James, Will Clyburn, other people like that can definitely get in the mix as well. They're on that second tier. But let's shift those focus from MVP to the rising stars because there are some young hoopers in the league that are dazzling right now. And Sophia, I know you probably have been looking at Rokas Jokubaitis, who's been really the best young star in the league right now. Do you think he's just going to take this award and run with it?
Well, I think we're very focused on Barcelona here right now. I don't think you guys are being very objective, but I have to say I think he's great. I think he's performing really, really good. But I want to mention a player from Žalgiris Kaunas, Vlasevic. He's only 19, and I think he's performing really, really well. And I would like to keep an eye on him. I would like to keep an eye on his progress as a player. So let's not forget about him because he can fight for the title. Obviously, Jokubaitis has greater chances because he plays for Barcelona, and Barcelona right now, has a great chance of, well, it's practically on the Final Four and has a great chance of being the like leading title this week. But let's not forget about this player. I really like him. What do you think, Anthony?
I gotta roll with Rokas Jokubaitis, man. He's been eating veterans for dinner, the whole season, and I think he's a young fellow with a lot of heart. He's fearless, man. I just really love this kid. I mean, there are a lot of young players that are doing well, but I think if we don't give it to Jokubaitis, I think we're doing him a disservice for the way that he's played and carried this team.
I mean, you got to give it to Žalgiris, the guys they're bringing up, and Blažević and Jokubaitis. I mean, they're really molding some generational talent for the future. But a little under the radar, and he shouldn't be really, is Filip Petrusev, because for Anadolu Efes, he's playing good minutes for a big man that young. He's got 10 minutes a game. He's scored almost 6 points. He's shooting 60% from the field. And a big man like that shouldn't be doing this early in his career against those big bodies. Guys like Eddie Tavares, guys like Vincent Poirier, guys like Smits down low in Barcelona. There's so much talent in this league. You look at Kyle Hines. I mean, legends of the game. And this guy's going against some of the biggest bodies in Europe. And he's playing well, and he's shooting well. So Filip Petrusev, watch out. Anadolu Efes is going to be a problem if they keep that base, and then they've got that sort of young talent coming up.
We made our picks, but the people watching are also making their picks. And I have here Clark saying Mike. Yeah, that's a great choice too. What do you guys think?
Hey, Clark, man, our first comment of the pilot episode. Welcome, pilot. Come on, everybody, give us those comments. We love it. Mike James, hey, I'm not against that either, because that dude can ball out.
Yeah, and Mike James he could go on the run towards the end of the season too. So I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out some tricks at the last half of the season.
Yeah, great players on EuroLeague. If you want to keep up and follow the Rising Star, you can definitely follow the 22 EuroLeague Basketball Adidas Next Generation Tournament. Who is going to be leading by a familiar face, Anthony?
Yeah, Kill Bill. Spanoulis is gonna be coaching one of the teams there. I think if I had to play for a coach whose nickname was Kill Bill, like I'm not sure. That's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? I'd be a little worried there. Playing for a guy like that. But I think it's huge for this young generation to be able to play with the EuroLeague legend like that and to get his expertise and then hopefully earn some praise. Man, I think it's really going to inspire the next generation of young players.
Yeah, 100%. For coaches that are beginning a new journey to coaches that are ending, because I don't know if you've heard, but Maccabi Tel Aviv just relieved from his duties to Giannis Esfaropoulos. He was obviously sad to leave this journey, but they decided it was the best. What do you think, Dane?
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation because I love Sfaropoulos. I've had a chance to talk to him a few times in the last couple of years, and he's a great guy. I really believe he's a great coach. It just wasn't the right fit in Maccabi. But what you understand if you're unfamiliar with Maccabi is the culture of winning there is second to none. I mean, these fans are very demanding. The front office is demanding, and if you aren't there every year competing for a title, your time's always ticking. And so I think that's just kind of what happens. Sfaropoulos, he got them to the playoffs when COVID kind of canceled the whole rest of the season. But that was really all they did in EuroLeague. So they didn't cut it quite enough. And I think he's going to be all right. Sfaropoulos is going to get another job because he's a fantastic coach and he's got a great repertoire, a great resume as well. But But yeah, Maccabi needs to be at that level where they're always competing, and they're going to look for a coach who's going to take them to that level.
Yeah, he was indeed very sad to leave, but you know, they ended up in good terms because he said once a Maccabist, always a Maccabist, and that's what they tweeted. Anthony, I would like to ask for your opinion. Right now, AB Even is gonna take over on being the interim head coach, but who would you like to see as the next formal head coach for Maccabi Tel Aviv?
I would love to see Oded Katash, take over that program over there. He was the head coach of Panathinaikos for a short time in 2021. He's known as like the Michael Jordan of Israeli basketball. And when I played in Israel, I remember once I was in a restaurant, and when he walked into the building, like his aura just changed the entire room. And he's smooth. He's kind of like the Godfather, you know what I mean? And I've heard he's a great guy, a player's coach, and I think he could be a good candidate to turn that program around and get them back on the winning ways.
Well, let's see what happens with that. We will definitely be talking about it here on EuroStep every week. But something that caught my eye last week about in EuroLeague is actually something that Fenerbahce just got 1 million followers on Twitter.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of followers. I wish I had that many friends. Or that much support behind the watch along. But we're working towards it. But I think that really speaks to the history of the program. They've had a lot of EuroLeague legends in regards to coaches, players, a lot of success. And I think that because of that success, because of that rich history, they've been able to develop a strong fan base, and you obviously have 1 million people that want to stay updated with them as they move forward. So I think it's definitely a big deal, and congrats to them in the history of that program.
Yeah, 100%. It's great. Also, it was history made by Fenerbahce, but also let's not forget that we had a little break from EuroLeague this last week because national teams were playing their national cups, and 7 EuroLeague teams won the cup. Efes, Barcelona, Armani Milan, Alba Berlin. But for them, maybe it was more common or more, they were more used to winning this title, but someone that hadn't won this title for a long time, it was Olympiacos. Last time they won this title, it was 10 years ago. And on YouTube, we can find the fans celebrating and them inside the dressing room. Let's watch it.
It might have been 10 years ago. It might have been 10 years ago since the last time they won, but 10 weeks ago, I predicted them to make the Final Four. So this came as no surprise to me. Olympiacos has a great team. They've been playing phenomenal at home, and I think they're going to continue on these winning ways as they get back into EuroLeague competition and prove me right, make it to the Final Four, and maybe surprise the rest of you. I don't know, but I think Olympiacos has a great team, and I think they're definitely going to continue their winning ways as well.
Yeah, that's definitely 100%. And to end this section and to focus on what's coming next, I want to end with a little bit of cuteness to soften your heart. Because look at this video from Broken Bottom, the player from AS Monaco. Look what he's doing with the little cute baby Dane. Do you have any memories like this when you were a kid?
Well, yeah, I don't know if everybody knows, but my old man was a ball player as well, and I was a little rugrat, just always around the court somewhere, just like Brock's young son is. And man, what a cool thing it is. I was a little heftier as a kid, so it was a little tougher for my dad to raise me up all the way to the basket. But no, being a kid like that and grow up around the game, it's such a cool part of being in this sort of basketball life. For me, it was just normal. It was just second nature. But all my friends were like, man, you go to these practices. You're talking to Sabonis every day. You're talking to these guys, Pablo Lasso, everything. And for me, it was just like normal. But you grow up and you realize how special it was. And that kid's going to grow up to be a much better baller than I will ever be. So, but it's so cool to see Brock Modem and all the rest of the guys just bringing their kids in and just starting them into the basketball world early?
Željko je najtrofejniji trener u Evropi.
Veljko Obradović is probably one of the greatest basketball minds in the world. He has 9 EuroLeague titles, which is more than double than the second coach ever had in the history of EuroLeague.
He can give you everything. Inside the court, you know everything.
There was something inside of the team that, I couldn't describe. We were unstoppable.
Partizan želi da se vrati u EuroLeague. Po jednoj reči, legenda.
One of the things that make us different, that make us unique from other shows, is that every week we're going to be having a guest talking about everything that is going to happen on EuroLeague. And of course, we couldn't think of a better person to start this section with us than Anthony Goods, the host of the Watch Along. Probably most of the viewers right now know who you are and are familiar with you, but please tell us a little bit more about the show, about the Watch Along.
Yeah, so the watch along, it's a great time. It's a time where we get to sit down and watch the EuroLeague game of the week with some EuroLeague legends. We've had EuroLeague scoring champs, EuroLeague champions, and other members of the basketball world. But it's been fun to watch a EuroLeague game and sit and watch and sit and talk and hear these stories. But no guest was more important. No guest gave me butterflies before he came on than my guy Dane right there. I mean, Dane, it was probably the best show ever. And I'm not talking about the best watch along. I'm talking about the best show ever, period.
The best show.
But you guys can go back and you guys can watch that on demand on EuroLeague's YouTube channel. Our episode with Dane as well as the other players.
Hey, the best show is coming when I'm there, so you better invite me.
Hey, you're invited. Open invite for both of y'all.
I think the worst superstition I've had in my career was the same socks. In Dragitas, I think we were on the 7 or 8 game win streak, and after every game, I'd pull my shoe off, and there'd be a big hole on the heel and the big hole on the big toe. And it's like, well, I can't change it now, And Yankonis and Malaknis are killing me about it. Come on, man, just change it. Oh, we're winning, and the holes just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that was from last week when we had a 3-time EuroLeague champ Thomas Schmodis and Thomas Walkup on there. But thankfully, I have to clear this up. Thankfully, Thomas washed his socks, repeatedly after each one of those wins. So it's not like he was out there hooping in dirty socks, but. Yeah, that was definitely a weird superstition. But, hey, they were winning, so, you got to ride with it.
Hey, fair play to walk up, right? And that's what Georges Marquis was saying, too. He just commented with us. He's like fair play for Thomas walk up. So I'm with a couple ballers right now. I never made it really to the big time. But, Anthony, Sophia, I want to know, as ballers, pregame, postgame, whatever, did you have any superstitions?
Well, as a previous baller, first of all, I want to read the comments that are happening on YouTube right now and say hi to everyone sending out comments and obviously express say thank you to all of you. So Georges Macris is saying, "Es fair play, guys." And also Nessie K says, "Love the slogan." Thank you so much for the love, and please keep that energy, keep commenting, keep sending us your comments. Right now, we're going to talk about superstitions. If you had any, please share it with us. I didn't have a superstition per se, Thomas. That was kind of weird. I really hope he was the socks, because otherwise it would be impossible to live with him. But when I was younger and I had to go to the games, most of them were on weekends, and it was very early in the morning when we had to travel. So my parents couldn't take me, and I had to walk till I met my friends to go on this trip. So I remember I brought with me a hanger, like a clothes hanger, because I felt safer. So if something happened to me on the street, I would just pull out my hanger to defend myself. I know it sounds weird. My friends would go crazy and laugh a lot at me when they saw me, but I felt safer, and it just kind of became a habit. My girl was with me and I had good games. What about you, Anthony?
Well, usually my superstitions were with food. If I had a good game, I would kind of repeat the meal that I had pregame. But I think the weirdest superstition I had was, I was talking with a friend, and I started to get into an earthy mood, and I started to get into meditating. So I used to meditate before games. I needed it very quiet when I meditated. So the locker room was obviously very noisy. So I would go into the bathroom stall and close it. And that's where I would meditate. And, it was fine at home. But after I had a good game, I had to start traveling on the road. And the visiting locker rooms or the visiting bathrooms weren't so clean and sanitary. And, I didn't have a clothes hanger to fight off my noisy teammates. So I had to. I spent a lot of time in stalls before games, but I ended up playing well that season, so it was a habit I couldn't break.
Look, I'm sure you made a list of the top 10 bathrooms you ever visited. So sometime you'll have to share that with us.
Well, if you guys want my list, you'll have to subscribe to EuroLeague's YouTube channel, and you'll have to watch the EuroStep podcast and the watch along, and maybe I'll reveal it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I gotta be moved to, though. I need the comments to come in.
I'll be doing that every week and sending you comments like people are right now, asking you about it. Actually, this week, on the watch along, you're gonna be talking about the game of the week, the Bayern de Munich against CSKA of Moscow. Let's see the preview and the promo for this game.
Hamza with the throwdown. Excellence from Augustine Rubin. Fast and furious finish. Oh, how did that go? And Bayern Munich are rocking now. CSKA really starting to sizzle.
Well, there we have it. Bayern hosting CSKA, and I don't need to tell you guys this. Huge playoff implications on the line. It's never too early to start looking at those standings, start looking at playoff positioning. And I just want to know, Sophia, who you got?
It's a tough question. Because let's not forget the last game CSKA narrowly beat Bayern by only 3 points. Let's not forget either that Bayern de Munich core, it's not very tough because, they're not very well known by their fans. But let's see what happens because CSKA both of them really need a win right now. And I love CSKA's player. I think he's key to this team. I'm talking about Milutinov. So I'm gonna go with the Russians with CSKA. What do you think, Anthony?
I'm riding with CSKA as well. I think Lexi Sved. I've been waiting on him to have that breakout game. Around the 40-point mark, and I think this might be the week that it happens. And I think CSKA, like as you mentioned with Milutinov and Hackett and even Ballin Boy's been playing well off the bench. They have a lot of good players that play well on the defensive end, along with Shengelia. I think they have too much firepower for Bayern, and I can't see Bayern winning, whether they were playing at home on the moon or, in a gym with the lights off. I can't see them beating CSKA.
Let's not forget either that Bayern de Munich just signed a contract extension with Vladimir Lucic. So that may be a key for the game. What do you think, then? Who you got?
Well, you know what? I like Anthony a lot. I like you a lot, Sophia. We're great friends. We go back a long time, both of you too. But I'm gonna disagree with you guys. I'm going with Bayern Munich, and I think this man right here on your screen is going to be a big part of it. Just signed a new 3-year deal, and what better time to show up and show out than on your home court against one of the most historic teams in all of EuroLeague. Don't forget, Lucic. He's one of the top minutes getters in the entire EuroLeague at 31 a game. This dude balls out every night, puts his heart on the line, puts his body on the line, and I'm going to expect the same thing from Lucic this week against CSKA. But also, check me out here. I'm going to give you my player to watch, Corey Walden. That guy is a big gamer right there. Corey Walden, I've seen him on some big stages, and he came out and performed. And Coach Sincari loves him. That's why he brought him from Partizan over to Germany. And hey, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be kind of a repeat of that first earlier matchup in the EuroLeague between these two sides in Moscow. But don't forget, Moscow, they're 6-6 on the road. They kind of struggle away from Moscow. And so I'm taking Bayern just by a teens.
Well, Dane, I'm sorry to tell you that some people are disagreeing here that are watching, because I have this comment from Edgar saying, post-COVID Bayern, they don't have a big chance here. So I think Anthony and I are going to Tesca. You're going for Bayern. And let me tell you this, we're starting a friendly competition between hosts and guest. Dane, I'm really sorry, I don't agree with you, but I have to please our first ever guest, Anthony. So, this is our predictions. Let's see what happens. Next week, we will be reviewing who was right. Dane, you got Bayern. Dane, Anthony and I have Cesca, and people seem to have Cesca too. So next week at 5:30, we will be talking about it too. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Dane, for being here today live on the first EuroStep show live on YouTube. Everyone can watch the videos on demand on YouTube and also on EuroLeague TV. And for all EuroLeague content, don't forget the social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Find us there, and we will be back next Tuesday, 5:30 CET. Don't miss it. And thank you all for participating and watching. See you next week.